Oh, really? Yes, yes. You are right. Yeah, it was around this time, close to when we were about to play Nigeria. Hey, the time is passing so quick. we are growing older and older, so we have to do so many good things. So that when we are not there, one day
people will remember
this. Yeah. I think that it's just a call to serve.
Who plays the call?
I think it's I think my uncle Alaji Mendy, and initially there was an initial one that I said no, this wasn't the right time, because I had just taken over this project,
head of
football, and trying to put this in place, and I didn't need distractions. I just respectfully said this wasn't the right time, and so at the right time, why not? I'll come and support. And so
was the initial call to work with CK or Milo?
No, I think the initial call was to work with Milo. Yeah, Milo.
Oh, okay.
But I said it wasn't the right time because I had just taken over. And so my organization were really scared that I was going to leave. But I assured them that no, it wasn't going to be. So I was I rather would demand to do more work, to create more players, to go in there, rather than go in there and then not creating that possibilities. And I was recruiting new staff from Europe, and I wanted them to understand the culture and then environment properly. They needed a better transition than it would have been, and I didn't want to play more truancy in the system. Yeah. So I denounced it. But the second call, I realized that the nation needed us. The nation needed us, and so it was the right time to really come and support to the best of our ability, and so. And you know, the environment is a friendly environment. The environment are people that I have worked with and I have known, and we are in very good books. You know, I'm not the talking type. You know, I only talk when the situation comes like this. And so
you hardly talk.
Yeah, no, it is not important to talk. It's important to listen more. It's important to view, you know, intensely. I observe very intensely. So when I observe and I'm speaking about something, I speak on content. And so when the call came, I thought that I had to also have a way of convincing my organization to know that, and you know, my organization is both here and then Denmark, and I said it is time for us to also contribute. It is time for us to also support. It is time for us to serve. So we have to do it. And so you saw that I didn't contribute just by myself. I still had my technical directorate working. You know, so.
But how difficult was it for you to combine the two?
You know, when I say I had my technical directorate working, means that my staff that are here, still I use them to do so many works for us. I task them to do so many works.
For the Black Stars?
Yes, for so many games, we do so many works here. That they have to watch games, they have to do some, you know, clips. They have to do some specific players, some games, set pieces, so many of the matches, and so many works. So people support in various ways, and so sometimes you have just one individual, but you have so many people who are also supporting.
Talk to me. What happened in that dressing room after that qualification against Nigeria? And in fact, what was the conversation heading to the second leg in Abuja?
Remember we spoke, right?
Yes.
And what did I tell you? Tell the viewers. Tell the viewers what I told you.
No, the conversation we had.
Tell them.
Oh, it was not on record, so.
Because you asked, how is it? And I said, oh.
If we get 60% of Thomas
no, first quality. I said the goalless draw is the best results.
That was the first thing you said.
I said it's the best result, and then you were pushing me, and I said, Muftar, just keep that one, and then remain very positive. And I said the energy the players brought to stay in the structures that shortly we brought was very, very evident of their commitments, you know, in bringing a change, a drastic change into our football. You know, remember it. The aim was not just go and win against Ghana and Nigeria. The aim was to begin to create success, and create success means that you have to build a team. Yes. And the process of building a team, you do the right things and leave the others.
They will come natural.
They will come natural. So you don't talk, I'll go and win AFCON. You don't talk about that. You just talk about doing the right things. And when you do the right things and performance comes, results follow. When results comes, the rest will be. So I know Thomas. And then that reminds me, yesterday I was dreaming about him. I don't know. Yes.
You dreamt about Thomas?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yes.
And what was I doing about?
He's a funny guy. He makes a lot of funny jokes, and then you don't think that he's the one who is doing it. And he was doing those funny jokes with one of the players. And I said, look at Thomas. He doesn't look like he's the one creating it, but he's the one doing it. And then he came to give me high five, So these moments were a moment when in the game, each time he sparks off, you see sparkles. You see it. And I told you that, no, Thomas just played about 55 of himself. And I remember in the dressing room, I said, Thomas, if you play 65 to 70% of your quality, we will win against Nigeria, hands down. And he was looking at me. I said, yes, Thomas, I'm telling you, if you play just this percentage of what you have, we win, because you bring so much with the group.
What was that?
He was intercepting. He was breaking lines. He was winning. He was winning his duels. He was ready to pick the second balls. And he had Kudus higher up the pitch to always find him. And then Kofi Tree was there to mop up. Baba Idrusu was his best. And
that's a kind of like I was sitting inside the stadium for that.
I remember when I met you, in the hotel, and even when I was going into the bus, and then I said, no, Muftau, it will be well, and I just
indeed it was well.
Yes,
we qualified.
Yes, and we could have even gone up with a bigger scoreline, because the second half we were much even in control in the second half.
But the Nigerians also had lots of chances.
But in terms of quality, Nigeria had the quality.
Individual quality.
But we had the structure.
That was about for us.
Yes. So when you have structure, and that's why I keep talking about not putting in place 11 very good players.
Put in place a team. Structure.
When you put in place a team, the team will make use of the 11 good players. Remember the year when Real Madrid had all the
Galacticos. The Galacticos.
Did they win anything?
I recall. No, in fact,
because you need
just getting to the quarterfinal of the Champions League.
Yes, but you need a collection of players to build a winning team. You need workers. They are their doers. You need classical, intelligent players. You need creative players, and then you need leaders. So these are the collection of players you need when you are building a team. You need people who are, so you see that the intelligent ones are always ready to remind players on the tactical structure of the team. The creative players, when it becomes too tight, out of nothing they can open up some space. The doers will always make sure that they mop up everything. The leaders will always be ready to keep them in terms of their mental fortitude. And so that you need these people to take care of each other.
Going to the World Cup, people were saying that we were going to do well, and in fact, even before the World Cup, there was lots of drama surrounding your player call-outs, you dropping players, and on all that. What was this all about? And the surprising one, everyone talked about, was the decision to drop Joseph Quincy. What influenced that decision?
In my mind, when you were asking, I just said maybe you were going to.
I forget.
Yes, I knew you were going to talk about this. I think that in our we are always very intense in the way we pick up players. So when the situation arises, it's so easy, and that was why the game in Japan. We have very few matches to really know the players, and then also to really determine who should be in the squad, and so it wasn't so easy that people who couldn't play much in terms of during the qualifier, the few games that we have.
The few games you played, like the Kirin Cup.
Yes, wouldn't give you the the confidence and then the aptitude to vie for them. And so those who didn't have the chance of being in that game was really a big disappointment.
But some players came.
Yes.
Salis came.
Yes.
Kamal Soa came.
Yes.
Who?
Iñaki.
Inaki came.
Inaki,
but for Inaki, okay.
Okay, so once you have said,
automated.
Once you believe that he's automated, so is it that others who also came. so we'll keep it like that. But I think that on a very serious
was it
note,
difficult to drop Joseph Painter? Was it a difficult decision?
Every player's drop was a difficult decision. Difficult decision in the sense that the coach has to take that decision, and the coach has to take that responsibility to speak with the person. And no, you don't expect that when you speak with the person is going to be happy. You don't expect that. You expect the person to be disappointed. You expect the person to be upset. But you expect that the person will see that one as part of the industry. That is what it is. And you as a coach, you expect that to be part of your responsibility, that you have to speak with the player. You have to expect the player not to be happy about it. But you need to be very reserved and not emotional of what the player might say in that moment, to always think that there's always a moment for a second chance. So irrespective of how he feels, I will not feel too bad if he says I'm disappointed, I'm not part of it. That the only disappointment will be that if the person begins to mention that, but this person, you don't make such references. You always have to be very much aware that.
So Joseph Painter didn't make the World Cup squad because he didn't play the Caribbean Cup?
Not necessarily so, but I think that other players were valued ahead of him. In the sense,
his numbers were crazy.
Numbers alone does not make a team into that stance. You need players who could filter into different positions. Also, when the going becomes very, very tough, and so you'll be looking at, okay, if the wide areas become difficult, where else can I use him? Okay, I might use him in the central offensive position also. So you look at all this movement. I personally sometimes do not even want talking about players' situation, but I just want to feel that it also gives you the opportunity to try to keep people in the notion that sometimes it's not so an easy moment to pick players out of others, but you need to look at what you need from various positions, how you want to play. Do you want to value more strikers or more wingers or more players who could play in 2-3 positions? If that is the situation, then that could be one big criteria. Would you want to say that it will be difficult for you to find a player to have
the cohesion of the system?
Yes, the cohesion of the group. Is it the right time to have him, or you need more time? Some players you just needed the players on a shorter time. Some players you need them on a longer term. Some players you needed them on the medium term. Somebody like Salis, for instance. You got him just one match.
Yeah.
Before against Switzerland before. So you need other players to be able to have some good function within the new squad, because someone might say, but he was in AFCON. Yes, but the handlers might not be. Somebody like me, I know him in and out.
Yeah.
I know him in and out. He was with me in the satellites team, so he was with Gideon and others. So it's somebody that I know in and out. I think that he was equally not fortunate because of injuries here and there, also coming in, delaying him. Everybody knows the quality that he brings. And it was not a time to really be thinking about, do you have time to do that? You don't have time to do that.
We don't have the time to do that. But I don't know that this question might sound very controversial, but people have said that the FA was forcing players on you people.
Not at all, to be very honest with you. Can you mention one player?
Well,
so assuming the president manages to get a player like Salis to agree to play for Ghana,
will you drop him?
Will you drop him? assuming maybe the president is able to facilitate the process of the process of Salis Abdul Samad into the Blasters. Muftau, what would you say? As a coach, would you say no? Sometimes they also can express their views just like an ordinary Ghanaian, just like you and any other person out there that will say that, just like you were talking about a particular player, such could be the same thing, that they could say, hey, I saw this guy, would that be counter to maybe the way
they make a recommendation because of the position they occupy, it could influence how you think.
I think that where we have all reached, the members of the technical staff at that time, where we had all reached in terms of our profession, we have reached a level where we meet, boards of our various institutions, to tailor, views and then opinions, and then you still stick to your very strong grounds, and then technically you come out with your technical views. I think that nothing of that sort really happened in my estimation. Everything that you saw were players who were tried and tested in various positions.
By the technical team?
Yes, absolutely.
So there was all 26 players that went to the World Cup,
there was
no
influence by whatsoever. If you look at the two locals that were part of the team, they were part of the team on merit, because obviously if you have a Danladi, maybe it was just by coincidence. It was just by coincidence. No, absolutely by coincidence, in the sense that who would you have brought as a third goalkeeper apart from Danladi?
So
Danladi is a U23 goalkeeper, right? Danladi is also the
so in other words,
yes. No, I'm just asking a question.
No. So I'm just saying something. In other words, the technical team felt Afriye Banya was better than Joseph Pinso. That was the thinking of the technical team.
No, you listen.
In the other thinking of the technical team, you also equally felt that Ibrahim Danlad was a better option more than Richard Atta and co within the space.
But Richard Atta was not keeping even for Hasselhoff at the time.
No. I'm just asking examples.
I'm not saying anything. I'm also just making a point.
Okay, I get it.
Yes. So in a very clear mindset, I think that we really look into all this, and we also look into the effect of how do you develop the group? How do you develop the group on a very immediate moment to a longer? Do you need somebody so daring immediately, or you need time to be able to do? These are all considerations when you are vying into a tournament. And then you also have to think about, if you look at a free Banya, for instance. Banya, I'm just using this as a basic example. Banya has been very influential locally, not only on the club tent, but on the national team, both the under-23s and then and Banya also carried himself very well when he had the opportunity to be there with the then Bechem player. He was my former player in Kotoko, left-footed. He's now in Okra. He carried himself very, very well. Trying to do his very best that he could in that situation. So a national call, sometimes you are an ambassador of the nation. When it comes. So the way you carry yourself, is very, very important. Sometimes we just look at what the person does just on the pitch, but it goes beyond these phases.
Now let's wrap up the conversation on the World Cup itself. And 3 matches, 1 defeat, in your estimation. Did you ever thought we to qualify beyond the group?
I think that I had a very modest expectation. I thought it was possible to qualify from the group, and I thought we needed to be prepared for whatever, because that is the World Cup. And sometimes the World Cup, it goes beyond just what happens. You need a certain level of experience, you need a certain level of resilience to sail through. And you could see how it was told, the game against All the 3 games. The game against Japan. The toughest game was the middle game.
South Korea.
Yes, that was the toughest game.
Those
is the toughest game. They were the best team for me.
8-9 minutes.
Yes, I'm telling you that
it was the longest I've ever had seated at a stadium.
Yes, but I'm telling you that it was a difficult game because it wasn't easy to predict how they were coming. They were varying their game here, and we tried to vary to follow them. It wasn't so easy. But the other 2 games, you just know how Portugal will come and play. You know how Uruguay will come and play. In the game against Uruguay, for instance, we only had some defensive difficulties, individual.
Well, we're not psychologically ready for the game against Uruguay. People actually thought that because there was
but
a potential déjà vu that was going to happen, and indeed it happened.
But a friend of mine told me that when you are going into a battle against your enemy, you needed to dig 2 graves. One is your own grave, and the other one is the opponent's grave.
You either bury the person or the opponent buries you. And you were buried.
Yes, and for me, I think that it has a negative effect in terms of the psychological element, and I think that including our fans and everyone overestimated. This is the moment. This is the moment.
To revenge.
But in football, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. You just need to prepare technically how you are supposed to. Unfortunately, and it was the game we started so well, right from the blast of the game. We were dominating in the opening minutes. We were dominating. But sometimes these things happen. That you have. What
everything. Happened in the dressing room at halftime?
At halftime, we just needed to do something tactical.
Did any fight?
No.
It's because we were made to understand that because you made 2 quick changes.
Yeah. There was nothing.
People felt that they were targeted for substitution.
No, but these things are normal. The person could even come out and show his outburst. It's normal. It's an emotional game. So if someone comes out,
the emotions were exhibited in the dressing room,
but not as you anticipated. No. There was nothing like that. We just made the changes, and then we did the tactical orientation, and then we're out on the pitch.
And those who were substituted, were they disappointed?
Everyone would be disappointed because the person would have thought that I have some 45 minutes to get my game back. Every player wants that minutes to do it. How many players will be not playing well, and then they will just come and tell you, the coach, please take me out. You always would think that, there will be, I can still put something in. Yeah. So when you take that person out, he comes out, should he not feel disappointed?
People said that your game management was bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need to know so that we can. I've told you that I have a very honest integrity to unlearn to learn. Yeah. Because we only learn once because we want to get better, and we never stop. We never stop learning.
I want to ask a very personal question. People said because I gave the probable lineup of Ghana versus South Korea, I unsettled the technical team. Did that happen?
Oh, no, I don't think it's something that I wouldn't want to talk about these things.
But did I unsettle you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have always been the same person, and I will continue to be the same. I don't think there will be any moment where I will change to try to be Muftao, or Muftao changing to become Didi. Maybe you just pick something out of Didi and add up. Maybe I pick something out of Muftao to add up. Nothing of that sort. We have been a comprehensive partners in the development and promotion of our football, and I think that that will continue to be.
So some of you were not accused of giving me information.
But since when have you known me?
I've known you for years.
So since when even prior to the World Cup, did we talk?
No.
We were not talking that much.
We didn't,
the only time I saw you was when I saw you there, and so
once in a while, hi.
Yeah, and then we go. But when we are on set like this, we pour everything out. But sometimes these things they happen. It's just like when we're delaying to announce the squad. Every speculation here and there. Sometimes
but I had the correct squad.
Then maybe somebody gave you, but it's just a normal speculation that you might speculate, because if you follow the squad really well. I remember in my staff, I asked them, and they had almost, you know,
a chunk of it correct.
Yes, correct. Because when you follow the game really very well, maybe you might add your favorite one or two.
What is that thing that you've learned from Otuado?
Oh, I think there are a lot that we learned from each other.
One thing you learned from
Trust. Trust is very key. Trusting people that you work with is very key, and that trust is there. That trust is in our team, and that trust must be maintained. That trust must exist, and that trust must continue.
And talking of maintenance, yourself, George Wharton, Chris Hughton, maintained. Congratulations once again.
Oh, really? I didn't know about this. You are breaking the news. You are a newsbreaker. No, really?
Yeah.
I told you just have to work and then wait.
Okay, so what does Chris Hughton bring to the table?
Team building, consistency, and bonding. And he came here. He visited me here. And then I gave him audience with my staff. We had fortunately it fell on a Thursday, and Thursdays we have technical meeting where we extensively explore around each other. And I gave him that space, and then I gave him the space in the assembly hall where we had the whole student body, and then he spoke to them. And so already this is somebody who values their grassroots. This is somebody who cherish partnership, who cherish colleagues, who cherish unionism. This is somebody who has seen it all at the top level and still says that I still learn around these people that I work with. So I think that the FA and then the government really are very clear in their direction towards the development and progress of our football in terms of deliberate, keeping consistency, and then I hope that they will remain patient around these processes in terms of how we want to create success. In creating success, you need a period to do this, and you need consistency. And what has been created already means that the bond is there, and so this is a huge one. So Chris brings about team building, cohesion, and then strong relation, and then experience. At the EPL level, huge experience, and that's what I said. He has seen it all, but he's still very open-minded.
Should we raise our expectations since his experience?
No, we have to be very modest in terms of our expectations, and then support and align, especially our huge industry, which is the media point, that we need to have a clear view of how we are rolling things, so that you'll be able to see that, okay, this is where we are. This is where we are going. We want to go, but these are the things that we need to be doing. And the good thing is that we have a strong database, and that's why when I was talking about the John Pinzel issue, I was saying that some players you need them now. Some players you need them in the medium phase. Some players you need them in the longer term. And in the process of team building, that's how it's going to be. Some are going to be falling off. Some will fall off so early, but others are the ones that you are carrying for longer periods. So how do you do to be able to have them consistently be part of it? And it's about having at least a collection of 50 to 55 players, where you know that always the revolving is going to come out from this group. And once you have that one, then you are building a strong team.
So from the team we took to the World Cup, what percentage of that team do you think we should maintain?
Absolutely, the squad is still alive, and then the squad is what you have to be looking at, how the leagues are going on now, and then those who are on the pitch, and if you are talking about those to maintain, if the person is injured, as we know from
you don't want to answer my question.
Daniel Chire being injured. If the person is injured, absolutely he's out.
No, but I mean,
because you just need 5 days to play.
Should we keep 70%, 80%, 90%?
I think that the core of the team is still the base.
And the core of the team, is it 70, 80 or 90%?
You should know. If I say the core of the team, you should know what I mean. I think that you need to have at least, we have some players who were also injured before then. Yeah. And so if you are talking about the core of the team, and then the core of the team should rather be the team that was even part of the Nigeria squad, and because the Nigeria squad really was the foundation. And once you have the foundation, and then the World Cup gives you the opportunity to build, to a certain pedigree. What do? Do you destroy it, or you just have to continue with it and then keep the process?
So you suggest continuity?
Yeah, continuity. Consistency is the key. Okay. Consistency is the key. But the
so
database
how long
is
should we
really
be patient with you? Should we give people 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
I think that it's not.
So that we can say that in the next 5 years we want to win the AFCON.
We have not gotten to the point where we begin to say, okay, now timelines. In building a team, you just know that now this is how the team is moving. It's a clear direction. Then you just know that this clear direction, and then after a period of games, you can just say that now you can even say that next year, if there's something, you can win. You can say that by next 2 years, this guy is going to get very experienced. If Kudus and then Kamal and then Osman and then Salis, have the opportunity of playing 2 AFCONs, and then they play in the World Cup. Then in the World Cup, then you can say that this World Cup, the worst we have to reach is this. Derek Bourton and others, and then Stevio and others, they had the opportunity of, getting into this. They play many tournaments, they play many games. So they can close their eyes, just call this one, put him in there. Any coach stands there, it will work.
So the
coach might say, let's go and play like this. And they go in there and they conjure their magic.
And they'll play.
At the end, who gets the reward?
So sometimes we should win the AFCON 2024?
I think hope is something that keeps us working. Hope is always something that keeps us working. But I think that the most important aspect is that now our focus is more on the team building. On the team building. We could do it so well quickly, and then it just rolls out. But I think that our emphasis should be more on the team building. And I believe that we need your support. We need, even though we are going to do everything that is humanly possible, but we need a clear alignment of thoughts in these dimensions. You just don't put the blocks together quickly and then you say the house is full.